didn't want it to be too much like that, so we changed it to the bank. And it was better because then we could give him a sort of a homophobic boss and kind of create more of a conflict. So that's where it came from.
And love your dialogue too. It's obviously very dialogue rich.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
Well,
amazing.
particularly when it's spoken by people like that.
Yes.
Yes. Woo!
Jeffrey, tell us a little more about the process. So when you first read the screenplay and kind of where you took it from there.
Yeah, so, is this on?
You gotta hold it in for a second or two and should pop on.
Testing.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Yeah, so the original script Doug wrote was titled Santa Monica Boulevard, and it was very Los Angeles centric. And it was kind of a celebrity of scripts. You know, Doug and I worked together for about 10 years at Universal Pictures, and you know, just as friends, I had read the script, and as we all did at the studio, and it was beautiful. And I watched as it had different iterations of kind of, you know, little sputters. It was about to get going here and there. And I was just kind of always rooting it on from the sidelines. And then I was introduced to a financier who, when I asked what they were looking for, they described so many elements that Doug's script had. And, you know, I told them they got to read this script, and they loved it. And then they, oops. Are we back? We're back. You know, and like any financier, they wanted to know who's going to be in this movie to justify them putting out their shekels. And I went to them and I said, I'll give you a list of 5 names, and if I get one of these 5, can we go make a movie? And we got the first one. We got Robin. I was very fortunate that he had a very special representative who took the script seriously. You know, Robin was getting offered a lot, and this was a very small movie for him, but he saw in the script, I think, what we all saw, and we got Ditto on pretty quickly after that, and then Kathy, and we were off to the races, and it was easy, you know?
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
So how long was the shooting schedule, actually?
I think we were about 23 days.
In Nashville, right?
It was in Nashville. It was, I mean, that was, you know, we didn't have a big budget, and that was part of finding a filmmaker, is we needed somebody who could shoot this really quick. We had people responded to this script. I mean, it was a big deal, and we had some really cool people that had raised their hands, but it's like the Oscars. They got to use this microphone. Oh, forget it. I'll yell. So, you know, we got Ditto because Ditto's a hustler, and he can shoot quick, and he's tremendous with actors. But it was a you know, it was a quick shoot. It was a lot. I mean, I can't imagine as an actor on that set, and I mean that. Like Doug, I mean, I haven't seen this movie on the screen in 10 years, and seeing Kathy and Robin in that last scene in particular is just wild. And I can't imagine how, you know, you got to prep and shoot, and we did that. Was that all in one night?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was
Oh
one
my
night.
gosh.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
we asked a lot of our cast in that one. And that's that.
You got it to work.
And Kathy, how did you get involved with from first reading the screenplay?
Yeah.
Good idea.
Thank you.
Somebody should marry her.
Okay, so this one's working.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got sent the script, but not as an offer. I had to sort of prove myself. I don't suppose I was on the list of those 5 people, but we won't talk about that. Anyway, I got sent the script, it was beautiful, it was gorgeous, anybody would kill to play the part. And then they told me to go to my agents, and meet you. I thought you were a big deal, and then turns
No.
out you're not.
No.
Yeah. And then Ryan, his writing partner, was filming the whole time, and you read with me. You read very well, by the way.
Thank you.
And we read every single scene that I was in.
Wow.
And Ryan filmed it, and I guess sent it to everybody who needed to say yes. Is that right?
That's right, yeah.
You really had to do every scene?
I had to do, I mean, can you believe?
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
that's okay.
Yeah.
That's how it goes in show business.
Were you just like sitting there, or were you actually moving?
No, I was sitting still, and you were sitting opposite me.
Mhm. Yeah.
It was
Couldn't
very
tell with
weird.
one
It
scene.
was a little weird, I have to say, it was a little odd. Because usually you're either with a casting director and you get to actually work on a scene and do maybe one scene, or, yeah, why did you do it that way?
Ditto Montiel is the director of this film. And, it was, Ditto came on and Robin was already cast in the role. And this is obviously the most significant piece of the puzzle to put in there. And he was just very, very particular. And, some of us were already prepared to throw the offer out, and some people just need to see it to believe it. And he was one of them. But Kathy was, yes. Generally, people of Kathy's stature do not have to come in and read for a ton of roles. But sometimes a filmmaker might feel like there's just something extra that they need to see. And, she hasn't let me forget about it.
Well, it sounds like Robin had the final say then.
No.
Or was that number 2?
Robin was so cool. Like, Robin loved the role. Robin loved the script, and Robin loved all of us, and he trusted everybody. And kind of like when I gave the financiers a list of actors for Nolan, we did go to Robin because we didn't want to tell him, you're playing opposite somebody that maybe there's some odd history with, or, and we gave him a short list as well, and he was fine with everyone and trusted the filmmaker. So it was, again, Robin was, yeah, he was great.
Excellent.
You wanna
So,
Open
why don't we
questions.
open it up for questions from the audience? You guys have a question?
That mic doesn't work, we have to pass it around.
Or I can pass it.
It's hot potato.
Anybody have any questions for Kathy, Jeffrey, or Douglas? Somebody must have a question out there. Okay, Alan?
What was it like to work with Robin as far as getting to know him? How was he easy to work with, as it seems he would be?
He was incredibly easy to work with, I think we all agree. Kathy, you want to talk about acting with him?
Sure.
Yeah, he was just heaven. He wasn't the sort of manic, funny Robin that we all think of. I think he was in character, and I think he took this very seriously. He was a serious actor, obviously, and he took this very seriously. And he was just there. He was present. He was professional. He was ready. We never had to wait for him, or he always knew his lines.
And he's in every scene in the movie, yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
he was wonderful. Can we tell the folks the coincidence?
Oh,
Yeah, tell him, yeah.
Yeah, what's that?
That's great.
Okay, so we get there to Nashville, and we shot the whole thing in a house. The house belonged to a couple about our age. And guess what? They were living exactly the life
Wow.
of the movie.
No way.
Absolutely, exactly. Isn't that amazing?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know, but they were more open about it, obviously. That, you know, our characters were buttoned up about it, but they were very open about it, and they've been through various stages of issues in their relationship, and they wanted to be together. They had kids, didn't they? Did they have kids? Yeah. So, but it was, and they looked kind of like us, right? Didn't they? Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
It was meant to be, right?
Can I just add something?
Just wanted to add, and then, as we started filming, they were, because it was their house, they were on the premises for a lot of the filming, and they started thinking it was their life story, right? And we got to the big confrontation scene, and didn't she say to you, that isn't how we did it, or something? I mean, this is not your life story.
I have a question for Doug, the screenwriter there. Do you ponder in your mind, like if you were to add on to the story, if they become friends after he carries on, if Kathy's character makes kind of the amends and they become best friends? That's what my mind kind of contemplates.
The question was, have I thought of what goes on beyond the end of the film?
Yeah.
Would Nolan and Joy come back together as friends, and would they stay in each other's life? I think so. They really love each other. I mean, what I tried to do is, I didn't want to write a wife that was horrible and he had to get away from this awful. I wanted to write a real woman, a real tender, smart woman. And they were really in love in their own way. It just wasn't intimate. And I have a feeling it was intimate when they first met.
Yeah.
And then, but Nolan was so, as I said earlier, was so uncertain of his own identity that he's moved away from it, and they were just living this companionate life, watching documentaries, sharing, you know, that opening scene when they're talking about the book. Oh, you enjoy this book? Oh, I read this review, and they had a happy life. And that brings up another point. I'm an old guy. A lot of the younger reviewers couldn't understand why he didn't come out. Well, it's never easy to come out, but let me tell you, back in the 50s and 60s, it was really difficult.
Well,
There was so much prejudice, and it was all in pre-Stonewall, and I think people said, well, why was it so difficult for him to come out? Because he really had a good life, you know? The only thing missing was he couldn't be his authentic self in terms of his feelings, but they had a good life together, and he had to give up so much to come out.
I think that the other thing is the father rejected him when he wouldn't drink out of the
Yes.
straw,
Mhm.
which explains that. That's
Yeah.
one thing, I think, why he.
That little monologue